I walked my son out of his own birthday party because my mom brought a cake with the wrong name on it. She shrugged it off as the same thing, and later blew up over a Facebook post I made with the replacement cake. Now half my family thinks I humiliated her. My mom isn't speaking to me, and I'm wondering if I overreacted. I'm 38M, my name is Harry. My wife Mia is 36F, and we have one kid together, Jason, who just turned 11. We've been together since our early 20s, and for the most part we're boring, stable, suburban people. My mom is 61F, widowed, and lives about 20 minutes away. I'm also the oldest of 3. My sister has a son named Jordan, which is relevant here. The name thing started literally before Jason was born. When Mia was pregnant, we told everyone early that if it was a boy, his name would be Jason. We were sure. We liked it, it felt right, and that was that. My mom hated it. She kept doing this half-jokey, half-serious thing where she'd go, "But what about Jordan? Jordan is such a strong name. I always wanted a grandson named Jordan." I'd laugh it off at first. "You can name your own kid Jordan. You were supposed to be my Jordan," she'd say. "You just look like a Jordan." I don't even know what that means. We'd correct her every time. "His name is going to be Jason, Mom. JSN. She'd smile and go, "We'll see when he gets here." When he was born, we sent out the mass text, "Welcome, Jason." Mia's family replied all excited, and my mom's reply was, "Can I still call him Jordy as a nickname?" Smiling face with hard eyes. We ignored it. Pick your battles, right? Here's how it started to really great. She just didn't stop. She would introduce him as Jordan to people, and we'd correct her in front of them. "This is my grandson, Jordan," she'd say. "Mom, his name is Jason." She'd roll her eyes. Same thing. J-name, close enough. It wasn't close enough. Even when he was little, he'd frown and whisper to me, "Why does Grandma call me the wrong name?" The first time it turned into a proper argument was when Jason was about 5. Christmas at my mom's, she had stockings for all the grandkids. My sister's kid, actual Jordan, had a stocking. Jason had one that said, "Jordan." My sister and I just stared at each other. I pulled my mom aside in the kitchen. "Mom, what is it?" "His name is Jason. He can read now. He's not stupid." She shrugged, annoyed. "I bought these online and forgot, Harry. It's not a federal crime. They were on sale. Then send it back or get a blank one. It's one night." He doesn't care. Except he did care. He sat on the couch, staring at the stockings, not touching his. That night at home he asked, "If she likes Jordan better, why didn't you just name me that?" I didn't have a good answer. Anyway, we tried talking to her calmly about it a bunch of times after that. In person, on the phone, text. "Mom, I'm not joking. You need to use his actual name. It hurts his feelings. You're raising him to be too sensitive. It's confusing, especially when cousin Jordan is around. They're both J names, I get mixed up. I'm old." It was always an excuse. Always somehow our fault for making a big deal out of nothing. The second big thing happened last year at school. She volunteered to pick Jason up for me because I was stuck at work. When she signed in at the office, she wrote "Grandma of Jordan" on the sign-out sheet. The secretary apparently went with that, and Jason's teacher started calling him Jordan the rest of the week because they assumed they'd been saying it wrong. He came home furious and humiliated. Kids had started teasing. "Hey, you've been lying about your name, Jordan." He's not a dramatic kid. He was actually shaking. I messaged the teacher, explained what happened, apologized for the confusion, and they fixed it. But Jason refused to let my mom pick him up from school again. We sat her down and said, straight up, "If you can't get his name right and stop creating this confusion, you don't get to do pickups or one-on-one stuff. He deserves to feel like a real person around you, not like some placeholder for the name you wanted." She cried. "So you're banning me from my grandson because I get tongue-tied? I never thought my own son would treat me like this." Typical guilt trip. We held the boundary, but we also softened a bit on other things because she's alone, she helps with occasional babysitting at our house, etc. I won't lie, we started picking our battles again. Fast forward to the birthday. Jason just turned 11 last weekend. He's really into skating and video games, so we booked a party at a little skate park/arcade combo. We paid a deposit on the party package, pizza, decorations, the usual. The cake was supposed to be my mom's contribution. She insisted on it. "I'll handle the cake," she said months ago. "Grandma's privilege. I want to do something special for my boy." I literally texted her. "His name on the cake is Jason. Please triple check the spelling." She reacted with a thumbs up. I even sent, "Not Jordan, Emoem." She wrote back, "Haha. I know, relax. Party day. Kids are skating. Mia's doing head counts. I'm running around refilling pitchers of soda." The bakery delivery guy arrives with this big, fancy box. Everyone gathers because, cake time. They open the lid. "Happy 11th birthday, Jordan," in huge blue letters across the top. I swear I felt my whole body go hot. Jason just froze. The kids around him started reading it out loud. "Who's Jordan? Did they spell your name wrong? Dude, isn't that your cousin?" Jason didn't say a word. He just stared at it. His face went from excited to blank in like 2 seconds. I looked at my mom. She was standing behind the kids, smiling like nothing was wrong. "Mom," I said, trying to keep my voice low. "What's this?" "What?" she said. "His name," I said, pointing. "It says Jordan." She shrugged. "Oh my God, Harry, really?" "Same thing. They probably misheard me on the phone. It's not that deep." "You didn't notice when you picked it up?" "I didn't pick it up, they delivered. I've been busy. The kids don't care. It's cake." Jason was still staring at it like it was written in another language. Mia put a hand on his shoulder, and he flinched. I leaned down to him and asked quietly, "Hey, bud, you okay?" He whispered, "I told everyone this party was for me." Something in me snapped a little. I straightened up, turned to my mom, and said, "We're going out for a bit." She frowned. "What are you talking about?" "They're about to sing." I took Jason's hand. "Let's go, buddy. Grab your hoodie." Mia looked at me wide-eyed. "Harry, I'll be back," I told her. "Keep them playing, cut the pizza, do something. I need to fix this." My mom laughed. "Fix what? You're making it worse. Stop being dramatic." I ignored her. Jason walked out with me, head down, while the other kids watched. I know it was awkward. I know it looked like I was storming off. But standing there and pretending the cake was fine felt worse. We got in the car. Jason was quiet for a few minutes. Then he said, in this very small voice, "Why does she hate my name so much?" I had to blink a few times before I could answer. "She doesn't hate you. She's stubborn and stuck on what she wanted. That's not your fault. Everyone else gets it right," he said. "Even my teachers. She's known me my whole life." That hurt more than anything. There's a really fancy bakery about 10 minutes from the skate park. I called them from the car, fully expecting them to say no because it was a Saturday afternoon. I explained the situation fast. "Kid's birthday, wrong name on cake. Please, for the love of God, help me." They said, "We have some pre-baked sheets and can do a rush custom, but it'll be expensive." "How expensive?" I asked. "Base is $300, rush fee, decorations, custom lettering. With the design you're describing, probably around $600 to $700. I looked at Jason in the passenger seat, hugging his hoodie, trying not to cry on his own birthday. "Do it," I said. "Put 'Happy Birthday, Jason' in big letters, with the skateboard design. Whatever you can manage." Final total, $680 with tax and a couple of last-minute cupcakes while we waited. It's a stupid amount for cake. I know that. But standing there with my card in my hand, it felt like the only way to shove the universe back into alignment for him for one day. We waited in the bakery for about 45 minutes. Jason watched them through the glass while they piped his actual name on the cake. At one point he said, "You don't have to spend all this money just because Grandma messed up." I said, "I'm not doing it because she messed up. I'm doing it because you matter. Your name matters." He nodded and didn't say anything else, but his shoulders unclenched a little. While we were waiting, I did something petty. I won't lie. I took a photo of the first cake that said Jordan. Mia had sent it to me, and then a photo of the new one with Jason in bright blue letters. I put them side by side in an Instagram/Facebook post. Caption: "When you matter enough for people to get your name right." I didn't tag my mom. I didn't write "My mom did this" or anything. But everyone who knows us knows the story. My username isn't private. I hit post without thinking too hard. So yeah, we got back to the party with the new cake. The kids actually cheered when they saw Jason on it. A few of his friends were like, "Oh, they fixed it." One of them joked, "Dude, you got 2 cakes. You're lucky." Jason smiled for the first time since we sang. That was worth every cent to me. My mom, on the other hand, looked like she'd sucked on a lemon. "What is this?" she hissed when I set the cake down on the counter. "A cake with my son's actual name on it," I said. "You embarrassed me," she said. "You stormed out of your own kid's party, you're overreacting. And now you come back with some overpriced thing like my cake wasn't good enough." "It wasn't about good enough," I said. It had the wrong kid's name on it, Mom. Oh my God, you are obsessed, she snapped. I paid good money for that cake. You could have just scraped the name off and repiped it yourself. He's 11, I said. He can read. He stood there while everyone asked who Jordan was. I'm not scraping his identity off with a knife while he watches. She rolled her eyes and walked away muttering, Unbelievable. We sang with the new cake. Jason blew out his candles. He looked happy sad, but mostly okay. That was my goal. The actual explosion happened later that night. After the party, Mia and I were cleaning up at home. Jason was in his room, FaceTiming his friend, showing off his presents. My phone started blowing up. First a text from my mom. Wow. When you matter enough for people to get your name right. Really? You want to publicly shame me over one little mistake? I hadn't even thought she'd see it that fast, but of course one of my aunts had already liked it and commented, Happy birthday, Jason. So it was clearly on people's feeds. Before I could reply, there were messages in the family group chat. Mom. Apparently I'm such a horrible grandmother I can't even buy a cake properly. Guess I should just stop trying. My aunt. What's going on? My sister. Mom. You did put the wrong name though. Mom. I got tongue-tied once and your brother ran off, spent a fortune, and blasted it to all his followers. Over a child's name. I've raised 3 kids. Excuse me if I mix up a J name once in a decade. I replied in the group. It's not once. We've been asking you for 11 years to use his actual name. Today was his birthday. You knew how much this matters. She left the group chat. Like literally left. Then she started posting these vague Facebook statuses. Some people forget who sacrificed for them the moment they have their own families. Good to know a cake means more than 60 years of being a mother. People started commenting with the usual, you're a great mom, and don't let anyone make you feel bad. You know the type. My cousin DM'd me. Dude, did you really walk out of your kid's party and blast your mom on Facebook over a misprinted cake? I told him the whole backstory. He said he didn't realize it was like that, but also said, you know how she is. Was it worth making it a public thing? And honestly, that's the part that's sticking with me. Because on one hand, I do feel like I finally stood up for Jason in a concrete way. I've seen posts on here about parents who make one kid feel invisible on birthdays and holidays and the damage that does, and I've always thought, I don't ever want my kid writing that about me. On the other hand, I know I escalated it by posting that caption. I could have just bought the cake, said nothing, let the moment pass. I turned it into a bit of a statement. 2 days later, my mom called Mia instead of me. According to Mia, the conversation went like this. Mom, you need to talk some sense into your husband. He owes me an apology, and he needs to delete that post and pay me back for the original cake. I spent £120 on that. I'm a pensioner, you know. Mia, you wrote the wrong name on it. Mom, the bakery did, and you're all ungrateful. He made me look like an idiot in front of the whole family. Mia, Jason was hurt. That's the problem. Mom, oh, he'll survive. Kids get over these things. Harry is raising him to be fragile. Mia, I'm not asking Harry to apologize for fixing it. I'm not going to tell him to take it down. Mom, then don't expect me to help with birthdays or holidays anymore. I'm done walking on eggshells around that boy and his precious name. Mia told her, okay, then don't, and hung up. Now my mom is apparently telling everyone I weaponized social media against her, that I humiliated her publicly, that I stole the spotlight from my own kid's party to make a point. Meanwhile, Jason has told me like 3 times, I'm glad my cake had my name on it, and is already planning what he wants on next year's cake. Money-wise, yeah, $680 hurt. That went right onto my credit card. Mia and I had a talk about it after Jason went to bed. She said, I agree with what you did. I'm not thrilled with what you spent. That's fair. We looked at the budget and decided that's our going out money for the next month gone. No takeout, no extras. I'll probably pick up an extra shift. It's not going to bankrupt us, but it's not nothing. Emotionally, though, I keep replaying it. Did I turn my son's birthday into a spectacle? Did I make things worse for him long-term with my mom? Will he think of this birthday as the one where dad and grandma fought about my name, instead of the cool skate park party? He hasn't said anything negative about it. He just keeps talking about the skate ramps and how his friend ate 4 slices of pizza. Kids are resilient like that. But he did also say, very suddenly yesterday, I don't want grandma to come next year if she's just going to call me the wrong name again. And I said, "You don't have to be around anyone who can't respect you, even if they're family." So that's where we're at. Mom is not speaking to me. She's speaking about me a lot. My sister is on my side, but trying to stay neutral to keep the peace. Some relatives think I overreacted. Some think my mom is being weird as hell about the name. Mia is firmly in the "I'm with you, but maybe no more $680 cake sprints" camp. I know I'm not perfect here. I know the caption was pointed. I know leaving the party looked dramatic. But watching my kid stare at a cake with the wrong name on it after years of being minimized by the one person who's supposed to dote on him, I just couldn't let it go one more time. Anyway, that's the story. Comments. Comment 1. You didn't humiliate your mom. She humiliated herself by doubling down on being right about a kid's name for 11 years. The post was petty, sure, but the actual harm here was an adult refusing to call a child by his name and then getting mad when the kid's parent fixed it. If she cared more about not being embarrassed online than about not embarrassing her grandson at his own party, that's on her. Comment 2. Genuine question. Did you ever flat out say to her, "If you call him Jordan again, you won't be invited to stuff"? It sounds like there were talks and boundaries around pickups, but I'm curious if you explicitly tied her name nonsense to attendance at birthdays/holidays before this. Also, what did Jason say about the social media post itself, if he saw it? Comment 3. Practical advice. Stop having big conversations in the family group chat, and stop letting her help with key parts of events. From now on, you and Mia book and pay for the cake and everything else, and if she wants to contribute, she brings snacks or nothing. Keep communication with her in writing, but direct, texts, email, and focus on Jason. If you can't call him Jason, visits will be limited. Then follow through. No more hoping she'll magically get it. Comment 4. I grew up with a grandma who insisted on calling me by a nickname I hated because it's what she wanted. Everyone else treated it like a cute quirk. I still remember that feeling of they all think her comfort matters more than who I am. The cake thing wasn't about sugar. It was about telling your kid, loudly, "I see you." That matters way more than keeping an old lady happy on Facebook. Update. Jason did see the post in a roundabout way. My niece showed him the side-by-side pictures on her phone and said, "Your dad really loves you, huh?" He grinned and said, "Yeah, he got my name right." And that was it. No weirdness, no embarrassment. He hasn't mentioned it since. My mom hasn't called me directly, but she sent Mia another text saying she's willing to forgive us if we apologize for overreacting. Mia replied, "We're not apologizing for protecting our kid." Mom hasn't answered. My sister told me my mom is now claiming she never called him Jordan on purpose and that we invented a narrative to make her look bad. Sis also confirmed my mom actually told the bakery Jordan over the phone because that's the name that came to mind. So yeah, not a random typo. Financially, I picked up a weekend shift and we've cut back on extras this month to cover the cake. It sucks, but it's done. If anything, it's a reminder to plan better so I'm not stuck paying rush fees when other adults drop the ball. Right now, Jason has said he doesn't want to go to grandma's house for a while. I told him that's okay. I'm not forcing that relationship. If or when my mom decides she can say his actual name and treat him like a person, not a projection, we'll revisit. I don't know if my relationship with my mom will bounce back from this or just settle into low contact. I'm not chasing her. I'm not begging. I'm also not taking the post down. It's already out there and, honestly, it's one of the few times I feel like I very clearly chose my kid over the family guilt machine. For now, Jason's happy. His birthday is a good memory for him, and that's my line. This story reveals a pattern so common it's almost invisible. The slow, socially acceptable erosion of a child's identity by someone who claims to love them. The grandmother didn't forget Jason's name. She rejected it. For 11 years, she waged a quiet campaign to rewrite her grandson's identity to match her preferences. Every Jordan was a small act of colonization, a refusal to accept that this child existed on his own terms, not hers. When confronted, she deployed the classic playbook: minimize, same thing, gaslight, "You're too sensitive," and victimize herself, "You're treating me like a criminal." The cake was never about cake. It was the culmination of a decade of boundary violations finally made visible. Jason's classmates reading Jordan aloud was public proof that his grandmother cared more about her fantasy grandson than the real child in front of her. The father's instinct to leave the party was correct. Staying would have taught Jason that performance matters more than dignity. The $680 replacement cake was the price of choosing your child over family comfort. Sometimes the most loving thing a parent can do is make the invisible visible, to say, loudly and expensively, your identity is not negotiable. Not even for grandma's feelings. The father wasn't buying cake. He was buying proof that his son's reality mattered. The social media post was petty. It was also necessary. Families like this thrive on private dysfunction and public denial. The grandmother could call him Jordan for years because it happened where no one was watching. The moment it became public, 2 cakes, side by side, the denial became impossible. The grandmother's meltdown reveals the truth. She was never confused. She called the bakery and said, Jordan, because that's the name she wanted. When caught, she blamed everyone else. This isn't dementia. It's narcissistic entitlement dressed as grandmotherly affection. Jason's quiet statement, I don't want grandma to come next year, is the real resolution. He's learned his parents will choose him over social pressure. That's worth more than any peaceful relationship with someone who refuses to see him. The moral, love without respect is performance, not protection. The grandmother wanted the relationship on her terms only. When forced to choose between her fantasy and his reality, she chose fantasy and blamed him for the loss. The father showed his son that identity isn't up for family vote, that boundaries matter even when costly, and that sometimes the most radical act of love is refusing to pretend everything is fine.